Hi, have you got a clutch pedal that goes too far to the floor before the clutch releases? So in other words, the bite point of the clutch is very low down on the pedal. Then it's probably due to a slight weakness in the design of the clutch slave cylinder on K-series engines that are fitted to the Rover, MG, Freelander. Either the 1.8, 1.4, 1.6 K-series 4-cylinder, or like this one, the KV6 engine. It's basically this bracket. So if we just zoom out a minute, this is with the air filter box and inlet tube removed, air filter removed, and you then get access and see the clutch slave cylinder, which is this thing here. This one is actually not too bad, although I'm going to strengthen this plate before it starts getting bad. And even here you see the clutch cylinder is a little bit loose, and what you'll find is when the pedal is pressed, so this arm is activated, this is the clutch arm that activates the clutch inside the gearbox. What you'll find is this slave cylinder starts moving around, and it's caused by this plate being rather weak, and you can get a little crack where my finger is along here, which means this bit bends back further. The clutch slave cylinder is then too far away from the operating lever and isn't able to push it far enough to fully disengage the clutch at the optimum position. So the best thing is to, if you've got a welder, to weld and strengthen this plate. If you haven't, take it to a shop that can do a bit of welding. Dead easy to remove. So this clutch slave cylinder, it's a completely sealed design, so there's no bleeding involved. Pull off that plastic clip, push in the slave cylinder against the lever, and then gently release the pressure. You can then pop that out of the way. Just leave it there for the moment. And you need a 14mm socket and handle, and it's basically the plates, dead easy to remove, as I say, held on with, hopefully you can see that, 3 bolts on there, there and there. One's got also got an earth strap on it, so don't forget to put that on when you take it off. So all we need to do is undo these bolts. So this is the plate removed, and as I say, what you can find is this point here, this weld junction can crack, this piece of metal can get bent back, these spars top and bottom can start to bow out and not fully support the end plate, and you can actually see on this one, this end bit is starting to curve off already. So I need to get a hammer, push that back until that face is fully flat to fully support the clutch slave cylinder. I like to straighten these pieces of metal out as well, so bash those, and then we run some welds across these to fully strengthen it for the future. It's interesting to see that even this one that superficially looked okay, as soon as I started to bend that piece of metal from that back, you can see little micro cracks that appeared in the metal, and showing that it's already starting to weaken, and so we probably caught it just in time. So bent it a bit too far, straighten that up, and what we'll do is run a bit of weld across that. Can't really do it on the top surface because that has to be flat for the slave cylinder to sit on. Well, I suppose you could weld it and then grind it off. If you put too much weld behind, and the little plastic collar that sits behind it is not going to fit properly, but you can compensate for that by just grinding a bit off the plastic, which is dead easy to do on a grinding wheel. So as I say, knock that out. I like to straighten these up as well, and then I'll do the welding and show you what it looks like afterwards. And there we go, straight after the welding. So I've put a couple of beads of welding all the way down this line. Did the other side as well, just one bead down there. Made it join onto the piece of metal at the end. Weld over the crack in the metal. I'm going to grind that flat so the slave cylinder sits properly. Kept the weld a fair way away from the centre of where the slave cylinder goes, then hopefully the plastic collar still fit on the back after I ground off the metal. And so we'll do the grinding, give it a paint and refit. I've used stainless steel to do the welding, just my personal preference, probably doesn't matter too much, but stainless is a stronger metal and so probably creates a stronger support system for supporting the clutch slave cylinder. And having done that before on a Freelander clutch that had a bite point very low to the floor, it drastically improved it and basically brought it back into operating like a proper clutch with a bite point on its halfway travel point. I've caught this one just in time. It's on MGZS. Quite a common thing to go wrong. A lot of people try improving it by changing the whole clutch system, like that Sheddist clutch that I've seen, which is an all metal one. Nothing wrong with the system, but most of the time it's just this bracket is the problem. It's a lot cheaper and easy way to fix it. If you're going to do the welding yourself, this is a fairly cheap MIG welder, and this is the only equipment you need: welding helmet, mask. I quite like to use the auto dimming ones just for ease of use. Only took about 5 or 10 minutes to do that, and so the whole job could probably be done in about an hour, and creates a drastic improvement to the bite point of the clutch. And again, that is on Rovers, MGs, fitting with the K series, KV6 or 4-cylinder K series, and also on the Freelander with either the KV6 or the 1.8 litre petrol engine. So I hope that helps somebody, and doing that on my Freelander certainly fixed the problem I had. Thanks for watching. Bye. One last little note: it's worthwhile just tapping on these tabs so you get a good tight fit of the slave cylinder. So just gonna knock that in a fraction, and to make sure the slave cylinder fits nicely, nice and tightly in its lugs. You can see this is how it's actually fitted, all these lugs coming through nicely, and that should be nice and firm, unable to move very much. The bracket won't be moving, and that's it. And the back piece now holds it in place. Job done. Okay, now we're done. Thanks for watching.